Back on the bench is the Pioneer SX 3800. My shelves are looking kind of bare, so I'm able to get to some of these projects that I've been either waiting on parts for or projects that were going to be a little bit more involved. So what we have left on the 3800, I did finally get the clips from Mauser. These are the clips for the outputs, so I'll be putting those on. But what I'm going to start off doing is I have some of these indicator lights that are out. So I know, and here's the thing, I had a little sticky note I had on top of this that told me exactly what lights were out, and I don't know what happened to that sticky. So I'm going to have to kind of turn these on beforehand and figure out which ones are out. I want to say auxiliary is out. Well, here, let me just turn it on and we'll see real quick. Alright, so let's turn this puppy on. So it looks like speaker B works, speaker A is out, FM is out, auxiliary is out. So auxiliary, FM, speaker A, and I believe, I know this button's broken, I think the quartz lock lamp is also out. To my ears it sounds like I'm getting stereo separation, and I haven't really dug into that. So I think the quartz lock light is out as well, but anyway, that'll be looked at as I'm kind of wrapping this up. So anyway, here's what I'm going to be doing with this. First, I'm going to remove the cover, and I'm not positive, but I believe to get to the lamps, I think the cover has to come off, and I think the lamps might be accessible through the front. I'm not entirely sure. Once I get this open and I look at, yeah, basically I'll have to open it up. I'm almost positive I need to remove this cover though, because I had my 3900 apart, and it's similar in construction to this one. Not the same, but very similar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disassemble this. Yeah, I may shoot the video from the front. I don't know, because I'm just going to get in the way if I do that. So I think I may just cut to where I have this torn apart, and if I have anything to share, I'll probably just shoot some video of that. So anyway, let me tear into this and see what I got going on. Alright, knobs are off, cover's off. I am going to go ahead and just kind of film this. I'm going to try to get it from the side and not get in the way too much as I further disassemble this thing, so you can kind of see what needs to be done if you need to do this on your own. It looks like I'm able to swap these out from the front. What I'll need to do is splice a new bulb onto the end of this, and I do have some lamps I need to test to make sure the lamps I have are going to work. If I remember correctly, I think these are 8 volt. We'll find out in a minute. And I think there's a difference between the function lamp and the speaker lamps, but I've got several different value of lamps in stock. So what I'm going to do is clip these wires, kind of tack a lamp in there. I'm going to mark, though, not that it matters, but in case I need to pop this back in there, I'm going to color one of these wires black and then cut it. Now again, not that it matters because that lamp is out, but just for the sake of knowing how it goes back together. And I do have a little bit of space here, so I hopefully can do that. So let's see. That's going to be pretty straightforward. I don't think I'm going to film this part. I'll clip it, and then I'll clip that, put a new lamp in, and then test it out and make sure it'll work. Alright, so when I touch this wire, you should see this light come on. That's the speaker lamp. So that is good. Alright, so now all I have to do is splice this lamp into that position. Gosh, stuff falling all over the place. So what I normally like to do, I don't really like to splice, but I'd have to basically disassemble this whole front piece to do that. So I'm going to clip this, give it a little bit extra room, probably clip these about here, and then I'll solder everything together and put some shrink wrap and connect it that way. So that's pretty straightforward too. I'll just kind of click over when I am done with this. All right, so that lamp's been installed. All right, so you can see we have A and B. One thing I did not mention, and I was looking at the lamp, I knocked it on the floor, the one that I took out. Oh, here it is. So you may not be able to see this on the video, but the cool thing is the lamp is actually marked with the voltage, right? So I don't know if you can see that on the very bottom. It says 8 volts, and then it gives the milliamps. So this is 8 volts, 50 milliamps, which is perfect because I have 8 volt, 50 milliamp lamps. I have 50s, 60s, and 40s. So hopefully these are the same, and I think it was these two, right? So if I click this on, that one, that one. So I'll do those two. Pop those out, put the new ones in, and hopefully that's uneventful and I can, sorry, my belly hit the mount here. So pop those in, and I'm going to clean this off though. Man, that's a lot of dust. I haven't taken the face off of this, the faceplate off it, and I'll be cleaning that up before I put it back on. And then we'll flip this over and get to the clips. The only thing that I probably won't, well, I may look at this switch. This switch is busted. This is the FM muting switch. So I probably won't be able to get to that very easily. Oh, actually, it doesn't look too bad. But I talked to the shop owner who, he said he doesn't really care about that switch. So, I mean, it pulls in FM just fine, but I may look at that anyway. So anyway, let me do these two lamps and I'll come back when I'm done. So, same process. What I did was very carefully so these rest in little tiny kind of clips, and all I did was I just pulled that other lamp straight out. Hopefully these are as easy as that one was. This first one doesn't appear to be. I may have to see if I can get it from the backside and push it through, but basically I just pulled them out, right, like I showed you. So anyway, let me get back to you when I'm done doing that. All right, so those lamps were installed. Pretty uneventful. So you can see that they're on for the different functions, and I confirm that the quartz lock light is indeed out, and I am getting FM separation. So, or not the quartz lock, the stereo light, sorry, stereo beacon. So if I go to a good station, you see the light come on. So I need to replace that. I don't have any pre-built ones. So, oh, and so here's what happened with these. I had to destroy the bulbs to get these out, or the lamps to get these out. The plastic sheathing, right, what I showed you, that where it had the value of the lamp on it, that had kind of melted to the clips in here that hold these in position. So I had to destroy the bulb and kind of dig it out. I spliced them, but I could have just run, I had enough lead wire, I could have just run that to the back board where they're sitting. So splicing it was probably the less effective way to do that, is probably the good way to put it. So yeah, so anyway, oh, I want to see if this FM muting, yeah, so if I hit muting, although the button doesn't stay locked in, it does bypass the multiplexer, shut it off or whatever. So anyway, so I'm happy about that. Now I just need to figure out how to take the base off of this lamp and put it in position up here for the FM stereo light. So I'm going to chew on that for a little bit and figure it out. This is 12 volts. I don't have any let me see. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if I have any 12 volt bulbs or lamps that are pre-wired and I don't. So I'm gonna have to wire that one in. That's gonna take me a little bit because I am not very good at that. So I'm going to step away from the camera and do that, and you should see it in position. It looks like I need to remove the diffuser to get to that because the lamp is right behind the diffuser right here. So this should be, fingers crossed, not too difficult to task. So I'll come back when I have everything buttoned back up. And when I talk about the diffuser, what I'm talking about, let's see if I can get this in position. Right, the diffuser is this clear piece of plastic right here. So I think remove the diffuser because the lamp is actually these two wires going in right there. That's the back of the lamp. So anyway, let me get this going and check back in with you in a couple minutes. All right, I have my lamps and I actually have my wires and my actual lamps mixed up. So actually what I was measuring was just voltage coming from the FM tuner section. So you'll see that when I pulled these bulbs, they were actually, or the lamps, I always say bulbs, lamps, bulbs, whatever. When I pulled the lamps, they were actually 8 volt, 50 milliamps. So you can see now that the stereo and the quartz lock light will come on. So those have been repaired as well. So every lamp is functional on the 3800 now. So I'm going to clean off the face a little bit, clean the knobs, get rid of some more of this dust. I did dust it a little bit. The speaker lamp works. So all the lamps are functioning. So what I'll do is once I get everything put back together, we'll do just a quick shoot of the face of it, and then I will turn it over and work on the new little clips for the output. All right, all the lamps are installed and working. So all the lamps for the functions, speaker lamps, and the display still works fine. I've heard I read about some folks that had some issues after they installed new lamps. So, all right, on to the output clips. Now I have to let this thing discharge. I learned that the hard way. I mean, I knew that, but on my 3900 I got a little over eager and started messing with the clips. And not only did I get some wires reversed, but it had not discharged all the way, so I did some damage when I messed around with that one. So I'm going to turn this off, pull it off power, let it sit for quite a while, then come back and I'm going to move the camera up top, and I won't need any soldering or desoldering tools for this because this is just pretty much a straight clip of wire, screw it into the clip type of deal. So anyway, let me pick it up with the camera moved on top, and I'll flip this over and we'll access the bottom and start working on installing the new clips. Alright, so here's what we're going to be doing with these clips. Let me kind of fit these first. So these I purchased from Mauser. Phoenix contact pluggable terminal blocks. That's what they're called. And I've used these on my SX3900, although the way I have these clips in there, they're not moving. I don't really know that I have to swap these out, but let me kind of show you what I'm going to do. So let me pull this one out. So slide out, and the new blocks will go in like so. Oops, like so. This is how I did it on the 3900. So the new blocks go down, they fit on the outputs, right, like that. And then these wires, I'll unwrap them, and the wires go into the blocks, and then this, right, then I tighten that screw and kind of lock the wire into position, so the wires will come in from the bottom, kind of like the way they are now, but it provides it. There's less of a risk of these sliding down, making contact with the metal bottom and shorting out, right? That's kind of what we're going for. So what I'm going to do is remove these wires. So I'm going to unwrap them. And this has been sitting for, gosh, 40 minutes. So there's no voltage on these. But I'm going to remove these, unwrap them. Gosh, I don't remember this being quite the chore that it is today. Have to get my, there, oh, there we go, okay. And I just want enough wire to where I can slide it into here, right? So I want enough wire to where I can just slide it into here. So I'm gonna maybe unwrap 1/2 inch, right? So that's, I don't know, maybe a little more than 1/2 inch. Then I'll straighten this out. And I'm not going to film this whole process, at least quick, like normal speed. I will, oh, dang. Lost a little piece of wire. That's not good. Make sure it fell through. Because you don't want that shorting out in there. So, kind of straighten that out a little bit. Make sure this is aligned correctly. I made that mistake on the 3900. Right, so green goes here. And I lock it down with this screw, like so. It's locked in position, and then I'll do red, yellow, and I'll do this for the 4 outputs. So I'll just kind of, I'll shoot a fast segment just because I want to make sure I get all these in the right position. So if I have to stop and go back, but I'm going to do one wire at a time. Last time I just disconnected them all, and I tried to go by memory, and I screwed it up on my 3900. So I learned a major lesson on that one. So anyway, let's get to getting this thing done. All right, that's done. Sorry, I had to step out and take a phone call. So the interesting thing is, even though the other ones were really secure, I mean, they felt secure, these are really locked in. I mean, they're not moving at all. So what I want, oh, I got a loose wire. See, that's a bad thing, so I got to check that. So that wire there, I must not have put it in the little gap here. I'm going to double check all of these, make sure they're all secure. All right, let's see how this thing works. All right. Yeah, I got it in the wrong gap there, so that should lock it in. Give all these wires a little tug. So what I was saying is, although these aren't clipped into position, they all feel very, very secure, so that's good. Alright, I'm gonna just grab my flashlight and check a couple of things. I want to check, make sure everything still looks like it's aligned properly. Alright, everything looks alright. It doesn't look like anything slid out of position, but we're going to find out. We are going to find out here in a second. And if it did, I'm going to be really pissed off. Alright. So far so good. Click.
16-14 with under a minute to go. And the first quarter, the shot clock.
All right. So that looks good. And these are in a much more secure position now. Alright. Put this back on. I don't know what that noise was. There we go.
On Thursdays through Sundays in December, bet one wager of 4 plus.
Alright, still sounds good. Alright, so I think this one is done. I think I've got everything finished on this. Normally I don't like using my drill to do this, but that phone call is something that needs my immediate attention. Well, not so immediate that I couldn't finish this video, but I need to run out and do something real quick. So I think that's it for the SX3800. This is going to go to the shop now, and hopefully on to a new home soon. Now, I did run this in my gym for, gosh, 2 months. So I didn't have any issues with it at all. One thing I will say about this, it's kind of thin on the low end, which I've read is common for this receiver. So, but it does sound good, and now everything works on it. So anyway, if you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Got a bunch of stuff coming up. Well, right now my shelves are a little bare, but I know that there are several things in the queue, including another console I'll be working on, and some speakers, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I did not shoot like a preview video for. So anyway, enough of my rambling. Catch you in the next video.